Hi, my name is Cynthia Mason. I'm a Canadian lawyer and trademark agent with the law firm of Mason PC and our online trademarking platform, Markably. We share a lot of really great videos on our YouTube channel, and hopefully you find them helpful. If you find this video helpful, we would love it if you hit the subscribe button so that you can get updates of when we post new videos, which we pretty much do every week. So in this video, I want to talk about something that came up in a recent consult that I had. We were talking about a proposed new business name, and the question came up, how similar can a name be to one that already exists? And this is a really great question, and it's how you come to the answer of whether names are too similar really is at the foundation of all the trademark availability opinions that we give when we search the availability of a trademark for registration and use here in Canada. We look at existing market data to see if names are too similar. And so in this video, I want to give you some rough guidelines that you can kind of go by when you're doing kind of the preliminary work in terms of determining whether a new name is something that you want to use for your business. So as a starting point, if your exact name, if the name that you're planning to use is already in use in your same field of business, you can't use it. It's just not going to work for you. You will be encroaching upon somebody else's legal rights, and you potentially could be liable for that. So let's, just make this a little simpler with an example. So let's say that your proposed, the name that you want to use is Balanced Wellness Center. You do your research and you find out that this exact name is already in use in your field, whether or not it's in your same city, but certainly within Canada. Just don't go there, because that previous business has legal rights attaching to that name, and those legal rights could be used to stop you from registering your name as a trademark, but also could be used as a basis for a claim that you're passing off your business as theirs. So exact names, just don't go there. It's not a good idea. Now, if your exact name exists in a completely different field of business, you may still be able to use that name. So generally speaking, they're selling very different products and services to a different target audience. Maybe they're even in another country. They won't affect, their legal rights don't affect your ability to use that name. But from a practical perspective, when exact names coexist in, English-speaking markets, sometimes it can be a little challenging to figure out who's who online. So not a legal issue, it's just more of a practical consideration that you want to think about in terms of how customers are going to find you, and will they be confused by this other business name. So exact names are a little problematic for those reasons. Exact names are not the only ones that you need to be concerned or worried about. You also have to steer clear of a name if its dominant element exists in another name in your field of business. So the dominant element is typically the first word of your name. And so with our example, Balanced Wellness Center, the dominant element of that name is the word balanced. And so if we're going to be looking at other names that are in use in our country and in the same field of business, you would stay away from names like Balanced Holistic Health or Balanced Medical Care Center. These names all share the same dominant element. Now, they're different names, absolutely. But the question that you really should be asking yourself is not whether somebody's going to mistake your business for that business. The question is more so, would somebody who's familiar with that business think that your business is related? It's really much broader than just mistaking one name for another. It really is about whether the average person who was attributed with knowledge of that other business would think that your business is somehow related. So that's where, the dominant element can cause that relational connection between businesses. And so when you are in the same field of business, you want to stay away from names that have the same dominant element as another name. Now, I will finish this by saying, if that dominant element of your name is in a whole bunch of other business names in your field of business, you may be able to use the proposed name that you want, so long as it's different from all those other names. We typically say that that dominant element, say balanced, if it's in, dozens of other names in the same field, even in the same geographical area, we typically say that the word balanced is diluted. No one person owns it. And so you should be able to incorporate it in your name as well. But whether you can do that legally is one question. You also want to ask yourself, do you want your business name to be easily found and easily remembered? Because if you're picking a name that has a dominant element that is so diluted in all these other names, your business name really is not going to be that memorable. It's going to be difficult to find, and it's going to be difficult for people to remember. And so that is something that you also want to think about in terms of picking a new name. Those kind of names are not going to be strong. Yeah, sure, maybe legally available, but it's not going to be a strong indicator of you and your particular business.